This is a 1,000-year-old abandoned castle in Italy. Its history started in 1029 and it got abandoned in 2021. And everything is still inside of there, completely left behind and rotting away. And let us take you on a tour of this beauty.
Yes, you heard that right. This castle rising high in the Italian mountains is nearly 1,000 years old. Its story began in 1029, when the first records mention the fortified stronghold standing on this hill, built to dominate the valley below and control movement through the mountains. By the mid-20th century, power over this region shifted. In 1164, the fortress was granted by Barbarossa to the Malaspina family, marking the beginning of centuries of rule by one of northern Italy's most influential dynasties. From that moment on, the palace was no longer just a military outpost. It became a seat of authority, guarding ancient trade routes that connected the coast to the heart of northern Italy. But its role was not limited to warfare and power. Therefore, in the early 1300s, the castle also offered refuge to one of history's most influential writers, Dante Alighieri, writer of the Divine Comedy. Over the centuries, the fortress continued to evolve. Walls were thickened, towers reinforced, and living quarters were expanded. What began as a defensive structure slowly transformed into a noble residence, where politics, culture, and strategy came together. But by the 18th century, its role faded. The family moved on, the mountain roads lost their importance, and the castle was left behind. The 20th century did little to spare it. During the Second World War, the castle was occupied by the Italian forces. A modern restoration in the 1980s brought back life to these halls, but history repeated itself. The doors closed once more and the rooms fell silent again. Today, it stands abandoned. And if you happen to have 1.2 million euros lying around, this place is still waiting to be saved.
So welcome everybody to the Bros of Decay. I am Leslie, behind the camera we have Luc.
Hey.
And we are standing here in front of the beauty that we're going to explore today. The 1,000-year-old abandoned castle in Italy. It is a beast.
Yeah, it feels truly medieval, very like a fortified castle.
Yeah, it's definitely a battlement and it has been made for that around 1450. But let us take you around the property first before you show you all the insides and outsides of this amazing, amazing fortress. The only sad part about it is that it's right now abandoned. It used to be a museum for quite some time. And that's actually the interesting piece of history, because when we are going to go inside, it's going to look like it is a museum. And that's the sad part about it, because it doesn't need much restoration to become a museum again. The lights are still working.
Yeah, well, one of them is.
It's so strange. Somebody's paying for those.
Have a look.
It's
the
around,
hills of Italy.
yeah, it's around 7 in the morning right now. We decided to do this one very early. We don't know the ins and outs about it, so we'll be a bit careful. Yeah, nobody has been cutting or trimming this place for quite some time now, unfortunately. And here we come to the front entrance. Yeah, there's no penetrating this without the key.
Yeah.
And it's for our luck that there is a door open on the side, otherwise it would have been barely impossible to get inside of this place.
Yeah.
Look at that massive bell over there, look. Maybe before we leave I'm gonna ring it.
Yeah.
Let's do it at the end of the video.
Is that to ring alarm?
I think so, an intruders came or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I need to ring that, but later on. Okay, yeah, the front entrance of the place. How do you call that? The drawbridge? I would imagine it was a drawbridge, but it's not in this one.
No, but there is some mechanism inside that we'll have a look at.
Yeah, we will do that once we are inside of the place. There's a teeny tiny town attached to this place as well.
Yeah,
And it's
very
right up
sleepy
there.
town.
You probably already saw it in the drone shots. But that over here is going to be our entrance. Just one more thing from the outside. You can see here that the walls have been built up. So this place already exists since 1029, but in 1459, the Malpesa family that owned this place actually made it into a battlement and added height in the walls, added artillery holes, and made it a defensive structure against battlements and everything. So that's where you see the final form of its existence. Okay, look, let's go have a look. Let's close this up.
Yes.
Through the wooden doors of the place.
Yeah.
I love it. So cool how they close and open and how that look like. Damn. Look, can you imagine that we just stepped into a place where kings and lords used to reside back in the time? That 1,000 years of history has played inside of these walls.
It's crazy.
I think it's super fascinating. I don't know what kind of room we just entered into.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, this is the welcoming desk for the tourism, but
Yeah, when it got restored in 1985, that's definitely Parisina family, I think it was, that bought the place, and then they restored it, and then they operated this place for 40 years almost as a tourist destination. But for some reason they sold it or they abandoned it. Yeah. There's even like a little walkway,
yeah,
that goes up here, and that brings you to that artillery hole, to the window up there.
yeah.
And you could shoot from there. This is the original crest of the Malaspina family. And yeah, they've been ruling over this castle since 1169.
It's such a long time. You don't get to see places this old very often.
No, not at all. There's
No.
only a few places ever that are 1,000 years old that we filmed on the channel. I'll link it up here. It's also a place in Italy. So the reception hall. Hey, look at this one. It's also very cool.
Oh yeah.
And also the sconces on the wall. They look so medieval and they're just literally worked into the wall itself. What was the first room here again?
We were here yesterday, pretty late.
Yeah.
Oh right.
You know it again?
Yes, I remember.
This is the banquet room. The banquet room. Damn. The grand dining hall. Where the lords and queens used to dine. I don't even know how to start in a room like this.
Yeah.
Should we skip it for a little bit later in the video?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah, because it's also like, I think it's nicer when the light isn't here. Let's first go to the courtyard. So stay tuned because you're gonna see a full tour of this room. Another crest in the courtyard.
Yeah, it's a different one.
And if you see a crown above here, you know, a helmet, you know that the family was noble and that the family had fought in battles and had earned to be able to place this helmet on top of their crest. So that was the doorway that we were just standing in front of.
Yeah, this part I just really like. It just feels like truly medieval or some Game of Thrones set, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Where the horses ride inside and the knights come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
see.
up there you can see a little bit of mechanism, right?
Yeah. I think some watchman or something would be standing there and then
Yeah.
heaving up the gate or something.
Lift the bars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you had to lift those bars indeed.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to look down here because we have been around this castle yesterday, but we have not looked in this room. Look.
No.
Oh wow. Yeah, of course.
Ah.
What's a castle without a wine cellar?
Yeah.
And without dozens of bottles still left there. Look at these. They're all still full.
I really love this wooden one.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what that's for?
it's for putting the cork in.
Exactly. Yeah. These even have crests on them.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Really very exclusive wine. I think this has always been the wine cellar, probably. Looks like it. Okay.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, is that a true medieval chandelier? Wow. What a piece. Okay, let's go back out. It's such an honor to be here. Yeah. I know the castle was for sale in 2021 for 1.2 million euros. I mean, that doesn't sound so much for a castle.
No, and I mean, of course it needs restoration, but
I mean,
it's not that bad for a
it's-
1,000-year-old castle.
it's honestly not that bad. But everything you do to a place like this has to be properly done.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, like it costs a lot of money, of course. But all the doors are also open. That is something that baffles me.
Yeah.
Like they just don't care about it anymore. I mean, it's a very small castle to some degree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
I mean, it was also not a very small, big town that it had to protect or had to defend from. But it also was a key point in trading routes that came through here and where people used to exile and sleep, which we'll come back later to. Look at that, the well.
The well.
Ooh, that goes deep. That goes right into the basement, look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then,
And yeah, this courtyard. I find it quite charming.
yeah, I think so too. I just always try to imagine like how it used to be like, how it was like centuries ago, when actually like the lords and knights and everybody was still here. In 1400 they also added this chapel here. This is an extension. So this is only 500 years old. You can also see like the difference in brick that they used from this one to this one.
Yeah.
Because this tower has always been here and this chapel is only 500 years old. Only 500 years old. Look at the door. Wow. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, this door hasn't changed.
No. Welcome inside. Look at that. A very small chapel.
Yeah, and in German it says here.
Do you
Och gelobt sei das allerheiligste Sakrament.
Why does it say it in German?
I don't know.
We are in Italy right now. That's so weird.
JHS.
That's also what it says on the door. It's exactly the same logo.
Huh.
Yeah. There's a little place that's engraved in the wall. You can store the wine of the priest. A little bit of artwork also throughout the chapel. Yeah.
This feels old.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it does say something over here.
Ingas.
Ngassi or
Ingas.
something.
Yeah. The Hunter Jesus variant. Is that Saint Antonius?
Ooh,
I believe so, right?
yeah, it could be, yeah.
Very beautiful sculpture. Probably made out of plasterwork. Yeah. That's not super old. Upholstery chairs.
Yeah.
Still here. Do they have crests in them?
No, it seems like faded flower patterns.
Yeah.
Did you see this cross, by the way?
Which one?
This one.
Oh, that looks like a pilgrim's cross
Yeah,
or a
exactly.
crucifix. How do you call those again? The Crusaders?
Oh yeah, Crusaders.
Crusaders, yeah. And they ride on it on a horse or something.
Yeah.
And let's see to this side we have another couple of art pieces. This is not a real painting.
No,
it's just a print. And there we also have Don Oriane and
Santo.
wow.
Alberto di Putrio.
And I also love this candle holder here.
Yeah.
This one is amazing. Whoa, so much stuff hanging to it. Let's not disturb it. I think this leads
to the bridge mechanism, right?
And here you're standing above the bridge indeed. Where it came from. And then what? Oh, it's not connected anymore.
It's not connected anymore.
I think it's now manual, but it used to be like that you draw the bridge up from here.
Or the bars.
Or the bars, yeah. Yeah, it's not a bridge.
How would you call that even?
Drawbars.
Yeah.
And they have another bell over here. Oh, I'm so tempted to ring it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's go further. So, Luc just saw that we can also go up on top of the walls of the castle.
Yes, that sounds awesome.
Let's go. Watch out, this one is loose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think these railings here have been added in 1985.
Yeah, definitely.
For the knights and lords and the kings, there was no railing. If they fell, they fell.
Oh, this is pretty narrow, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What?
The view is awesome up here. Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
I'm astonished.
Yeah. To have a castle this high.
Let's see. It's the town. Yeah, we cannot be too high here.
No.
Just have a look. Probably at the courtyard, so cool. Okay. 750 meters above sea level we are right now.
Yeah.
It does feel higher though.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, let's go back. A lot of things to see in this place. Oh yeah, we can now head up there. I mean, they already laid out the red carpet for us.
Oh yeah.
Even the smell that comes from the room is
Oh.
pure joy to my nose.
Oh right, it's this room.
Oh yeah, this one was the less interesting of the two.
Yes, but it has a nice fireplace.
I think with the original furnishings in here, this would have been an insane room. With
Definitely.
fireplace with the marble and everything on it.
Marble and wood.
There's a very cute moth up here.
Oh yeah.
There's two moths.
Oh.
Yeah. Do you think they would light it with the wood in there? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Very strange. But this is definitely also a big dining space or a banquet room where they hosted lavish parties back in the time. Are these like the original tables underneath here? No,
No.
not at all.
Definitely not, no.
Not at all. Cabinets and everything. Nice chandelier though.
Oh yeah. This is definitely newer than medieval, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That looks like a Renaissance,
Yeah.
Louis XV style.
And if you compare it to like the other chandelier over here.
Yeah, that is more of a medieval one.
Yeah.
And it also has the fleur-de-lis from Florence in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Do you call it fleur de lis if it's Florence?
No, I don't know how to call
Fleur
it.
de Florence.
Fleur de France. Hey, look, this is Dante Alighieri.
Yeah.
And I know you have something to tell about this.
Well, I don't know a lot about him, but this is Dante Alighieri, if I say that correctly. He wrote the Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno, and he actually stayed here while he was in exile.
Among those who found refuge here was Dante Alighieri. By the early 1300s, Dante was no longer just a poet. He was a politician, a thinker, and a man deeply involved in the power struggles of Florence. When those struggles turned against him, he was exiled. Banned from his city under the threat of death, stripped from his positions, and forced to live under the protection of powerful families across northern Italy. It was during this period of exile that he stayed here, under the protection of the Malaspina family. not as a guest of luxury, but as a respected intellectual and political ally. He would have lived close to the heart of the fortress, near the main hall, where discussions took place, decisions were made, and news from the outside world arrived. This was a turning point in his life. Cut off from Florence, Dante focused fully on his writing. Not long after this period, he continued work on the Divine Comedy, his monumental poem describing a journey through hell, purgatory, and paradise. The story follows Dante himself, guided first by the Roman poet Virgil and lover Beatrice. Through this journey, he meets sinners, rulers, popes, and historical figures, each placed carefully within a moral universe where every action carries consequence. The work was highly controversial for its time, openly placing powerful political and religious figures in hell, while exploring sin, redemption, and ultimately the soul's path towards God. And that's what makes this story so striking. The same walls that once sheltered a man who shaped Western literature now stands empty once more.
So he was a political figure back in the 1300s, and he lived in Florence, in Italy, and he got exiled from Florence because he was opposing a party in Florence, and then the people that run this castle took him in and took him as their guest, and he stayed here for quite a while, and he's tied very deeply to the people of this castle.
Yeah, it's very interesting that he was here because he's a very influential person in literature.
Yeah, really cool. These sconces are also super nice. Yeah. Why is the flag of France hanging? Oh no, it's the flag of Italy. I'm colorblind. Stop it. Stop it. Don't. This we were also looking at yesterday, but I couldn't figure out the history behind it.
Yeah, there's an Americano Avarzi. I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
does that mean that there's just an American over here and here's a Russian, Nicolas Dragozin?
1925, 1943 during the war. Yeah, I cannot make much from it. It was just lying here.
Ministerio dell'Italia Occupata.
Maybe it could have been that this castle was used at some point in the war as a defensive structure.
Yeah.
That could have been the case, right?
Yeah, I think it was occupied because over here it also, Ministero dell'Italia Occupata. I'm assuming that means occupied.
Yeah, but the thing is, in 1945, this castle was also still in ruin. It had not been restored.
Yeah.
So they were occupying a castle in ruin back then.
Yeah, maybe they just had artillery here in the courtyard or something, I don't know.
Yeah, this castle has seen battles, yeah. Yeah, and I also love those building cabinets.
Yeah, before we move on, I'm gonna head on to this piece.
Oh yeah.
Because these are actually painted. Sorry, a bit squeezing through.
That looks like Dante.
There's the gold still in there.
There's 1166.
Yeah. Oh, the Barbarossa.
Barbarossa, so he was the last lord that owned this place.
Yeah.
And he sold this place after that. And then the Malaspina family came here, and they actually ruled over this castle for 7 centuries. That's quite a long time for a family lineage.
Why is this face so different than the other ones?
This looks like...
Is this a print?
I think it's painting.
But it's so different than the other ones.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Strange. Yeah.
Maybe it's later.
1788 is the last day that the Malaspina family lived here. So, yeah, then they abandoned the castle for some reason. Okay, what do we have over here? Oh, watch out, Luke.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. There's also Barbarossa. Yeah. And then we have the crest, another crest. I don't know what this crest is. We've seen this crest a lot.
Yeah.
It looks like the Swiss crest, but then with a crown on it. And
yeah, we have seen it several times. Oh, doesn't it just say?
Something 1800, I don't know who that is. No. And a very big...
Are you sure this is Barbarossa? It says Obizzo Malaspina.
Oh, Malaspina is that's the follow-up. So that, a few years after this, they acquired the castle in 1169. But this could have already been like a drawing of the family back then. Super influential family.
This torn drawing, it's sad because it was a really beautiful one.
Yeah, absolutely. What a beauty. Could we go downstairs from here?
I don't believe so.
Oh no, it was the room next to here, look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the room next to here. Huh, so much things to look at. Yeah, the stairs were here. So there's these back rooms, and then from here we can go down. And now it's time, Luke, for the room.
Yeah, we're back.
I think by far my favorite room of the entire place.
Yes.
What a beauty is this. This feels like a true medieval banquet room. And
Where the lords will be sitting up here high.
yeah, I think like the Malaspina family was here, and then all their guests were down there, right?
Exactly.
That's how the rules were set.
Yeah. And
Sorry if I pronounced that name Malaspina wrong sometimes, because there's so many names surrounding this castle that you have to remember. But,
yeah, and Italian names are also a bit different than we're used to.
What is this?
That's the reception room, no?
Is it?
No. I don't know, it's kind of hard to say.
How do you even get there?
No, it is the reception room.
It is?
It is the reception room. Wow. Okay. I was just curious for a second. So, the place where the Malaspina family used to sit. I think. What do you have here?
No, I'm just showing these.
Wow.
The 400s. I mean, this is probably not original, but this was a painting commissioned in 400s? No, that doesn't.
No, that is not.
No.
No.
Oh yeah, 1244.
1244.
1205 to 1244. Maybe she reigned here.
Yeah, it's possible. And also here you can see Sala Piano Terra Prima della Restauratio. So here's where they were restoring.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's full of excrement, but they were restoring this place in 1985 and then they opened to the public.
You gotta look at the camera more.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
I'm just thinking, you know. And then over there you have the speaking booth. So probably they put it up sometimes and then they would speak to the people and the guests that were in here. And a sort of collage of pictures.
No.
You know what that's useful for?
Yeah, and these are just pretty pictures, you know?
Yeah, they are pretty pictures.
Oh, there used to be different tiles around the well.
Oh yeah. Definitely did a couple of restorations throughout the years.
Oh, I do want to have a look at this one.
Oh my god, that was massive.
Yes.
Didn't even notice that one until now.
Yeah, it's a bit faded.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like a truly original painting, probably hundreds of years old. Still hanging here. Yeah. And this one, look, you can also not ignore this one.
Oh.
It's the chandelier with stained glass inside of it. It's absolutely wonderful. I think when it was lit up, it would like light up this room with rainbow colors.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna play one key.
Yeah. Nope.
Leave it.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
What is it?
Grottrain Steinway. Grottrain Steinway. I've seen Steinways before.
Steinweg.
Steinweg. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So yeah, from the kings and queens places, you come down to the peasant realm.
Yeah. Or maybe also noble guests, you know?
Of course. I think if you want to be inside of this place, you had to be noble. You had to be of some importance back in the time. Otherwise, that would not be possible.
This is also a pretty weird piece. Because if you take the head, it's a Buddhist statue. I really don't understand why that was here.
Who placed that here?
Yeah, but it's a beautiful piece.
Yeah. I mean, they took in people of exile, so they probably were open to a lot of religions as well. Yeah.
Medieval Italy?
Probably
I don't know. Everyone was heretics there.
Yeah, that's true. Probably only Christianity.
Yeah.
A nice built-in cabinet over here. I am wondering if these are original. Maybe late original.
Yeah.
Couple of crests. Malaspina it says over here.
Oh, it's all Malaspina.
1129. Probably like when those types of families, they marry each other and they marry into each other and then they combine their crests to form new crests and then they grow as a family. So you can
I feel
see.
like it's been like a tree all along, don't you think?
Yeah, but they
And
also.
it just evolved to be a more defined tree.
But we also saw outside that it's like a different crest and it's not only a
Yeah.
tree. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. But I feel like this one is just for the Malaspina
Yeah.
crest, no?
1729 and then this one adds to it at 1275. Yeah. So this evolves indeed, like you say. Yeah, and then this is the original one probably.
Yeah.
Here we can see fragments of that this place used to be a museum.
Yeah.
We have a couple of vitrines, cabinets standing here. Yeah. But that has been some time ago.
Yeah.
I hope somebody comes along and decides to make it a museum again. Dante, there he is again.
Dante again.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, these are awesome.
These are what I feel like we see a lot in churches.
Yeah.
Those are those. I don't know how to call these benches.
I wouldn't know either.
No. They're always so high and opulent and beautifully carved. Really like them.
Did you see the chandelier?
Oh my god. No, I didn't. I was only looking down so far.
It's a really cool piece.
Excuse me?
There are squirrels over here, or there's just one. But
There's
he's-
one squirrel. We saw him yesterday as well.
Yeah, he's a bit of a rascal and a bit curious.
It's literally hanging there on the wall. Look,
Yeah.
come fast. Hello. You see him up there?
Yeah.
What's he doing? You're the new resident?
Aw,
Oh, what a beauty.
it is a cutie.
He's just destroying the castle. Okay, let's go further with our exploration. I was like, who's in the castle? Who's in the castle? Yeah, it's a beauty. It's a true beauty. Yeah, okay, let's go further. This feels like it is indeed a original piece from the castle itself.
Yeah, this is very sturdy and bulky.
Look.
Yeah, and it's the Malaspina crest on there.
That's the last crest that we saw on the plaque over there. So, could be like beginning of the castle.
Yeah, it's strange because this crest doesn't have a date or a year.
Yeah,
So we don't know, but everything after that is in late 1200s.
late 1200s exactly. Yeah, I love these ones as well. There over here.
Yeah.
So simple. They're so funny.
They're great.
And then the inside of the fireplace, completely made out of stone. The blocks are still in there. The banquet table. Imagine that Dante was sitting here, look.
Yeah.
I mean, this feels like an original table or a very old table. So cool to think about those things. The seats around it. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Are they nice? Oh, they have feet.
Yeah. So what is this for? Is it to?
I don't know. I'm just gonna have a look.
Hard to say.
Very hard to say. Some smoking pit or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Couple of sconces here. Very nice. This corner chair is also super nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love those. And then a massive, massive painting on wood paneling. It says on here, whoa, no.
Yeah.
This is Quigliac 911. So that's 1,100 years old. If that's
yeah,
correct.
that doesn't. Yeah, but then it doesn't add up, right?
That doesn't make
then,
sense.
Then it's probably 1911.
Yeah, that could be rather 1911, yeah, but that doesn't make sense. It looks too good.
Yeah.
It looks too good. Yeah. I don't believe that it's 1,000 years old.
No.
No. Oh, look at that lantern. Damn. That's cool.
Yeah, This one is pretty goofy.
This is definitely from the time of the museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they are?
Maybe the owners or something, you know?
That's so funny. They dressed up completely for this. Wow. Hey, you look nice. Let's go into the basement.
Yes.
Be careful, Luke. This floor, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's completely, I think it's just the top layer that's collapsed.
Yeah, but it does not feel good now.
No. Okay. Yeah, here we're coming into the basement. Oh, this is what we just saw, Luke. This is the well.
Yeah, we looked at from up here.
Doesn't go far down.
No, not at all.
Think it would have been further back then? I feel like it has been filled in for some reason.
Yeah, maybe to stabilize the structure or something,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
possible, yeah. Wow. I feel like we just entered into the place where they forged the weapons back in the time. Like where they made on anvils, like the big swords and everything.
Yeah,
And,
the tools.
yeah, and also like repaired the castle in a lot of ways. Yeah, like it looks like a forgery here indeed, yeah. We have like hot coals and you could smith things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CPV place?
CPV, yeah, that's original from the castle. Damn.
Oh, this
These
is
are
cool
all the-
too.
Yeah. A washing basin of some sort.
Yeah.
And here's all the hinges of the doors and everything that they needed for the structure of the place. Oh. Wow, so much stuff still lying here. Yeah, it feels like the old forgery. All the stonework
Oh, yeah.
from the castle.
I believe this was a piece of the oven, no? Then you put the sword in there.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah. Look over here, we have
Oh.
a roof tile and that says 1680 something. 80, but
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but 85.
Who knows?
I read online that this castle has a lot of secret passageways. Most of them are blocked off right now, but this is still one of them left. And they were used for when the castle was under fire, so that the people could escape and could run without being seen. Oh. Yeah, it's not made for a person of your height.
No.
Oh yeah, watch out. Yeah, it ends over here.
Yeah.
It got blocked off at some point, but you can see that it was used for escape route back in the time. Okay,
Was that a bet?
That was a bet.
Okay.
Okay, go carefully back, carefully back. Okay, let's get out of the basement. It's time to go into the tower. Let's go up here. I'm super excited to go into the tower. Let's go. Oh, the light is shining in perfectly right now. Oh my God. Wow. There's so much stuff in here. You could see that this was part of the museum back in the time.
Definitely.
They collected all the different artifacts from the history of the castle inside of here. All the stonework.
Is this? Oh, it's the. No, it's a scallop.
Something they carved and something that's probably
Yeah.
from the beginnings of this place. Over here in this cabinet, you can also see the tools, the irons and everything that they used, the scissors and the nails to put this place together.
Wow, did you see the woodwork up here?
Oh, that's an overdoor for somewhere. Oh. Wow, this looks like a mythical scene.
Yeah, he's fighting a centaur.
Yeah.
You know, like half horse, half man.
Yo. That's awesome. Hey,
Oh,
little butter maker.
right.
Even more tools in here. Dozens and dozens of different things that they used.
And of course, This massive bellow.
Yeah, that would be part of the forgery.
Yeah.
That's what they used to light the fires and make it super, super hot. Yeah. Every single cabinet is filled with history.
Yeah,
This place.
let's walk a bit over here. There's a massive tool wall.
Yeah. Don't even know how to describe all of these things.
Oh, this is for the pasta.
Pasta? Oh yeah, it's for the pasta.
And
course, we're still
here
in
this
Italy.
is for something in wool.
Yeah.
That we've also had a very cute museum tour at some place where we stayed.
Yeah.
That's why I recognized the tool from.
To stretch the wool out, to untangle it in some way. So many different things. Watch out with your backpack. Look, it's so crowded in here that you can knock over things in a heartbeat.
Oh, here is the anvil actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and another bellow.
Oh wow, that one is it even bigger? No, it's more intact. Speaking booth up there.
Yeah. And more wood panels over there.
Yeah. Also fights, embattlements. Yeah, everything is filled to the brim with tools. Okay, I'm taking a random tool out of here. This looks like a gardening tool. How many people would have worked and lived here back in the time is insane. Oh my god.
Oh, look, the chandelier has the crests as well.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, very small crests.
Yeah, they're dangling.
Oh, that looks also. Then it's probably the original chandelier as well that got electrified back in the time.
Yeah. They're really cool.
Yeah. What a lovely room. Is this the grinding stone?
Oh yeah, looks like it. Yeah, definitely one of the most interesting parts of the museum, I would say.
Yeah. And if it was a bit more organized and labeled, it would have been so nice for people to come and visit this. Wow. The forgery, that's probably what it was. And even another well down here. Can you shine the light on it to see how deep this one goes? Yeah, this one goes quite deep. It's definitely a long way and a lot of passageways underneath this castle. Okay, let's go up to the next floor. Be careful, look, because you're gonna bump your head into a light.
Another. I already bumped my head here one time off camera, and it was pretty brutal.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, just go ahead.
I'm just gonna go like this.
Okay. We come to the next floor of this place. Oh, this is a bit more refined museum room. This looks like it might have been also a banquet room back in the time, a dining room, someplace where lords and queens would reside.
Again, the family crest.
Yes, it comes back everywhere in these truly medieval cast iron chandeliers. Hey, Dante again.
Dante.
He was very inspirational for this place. How long would he have stayed here? Maybe he written even some of his poetry in here.
Yeah, it could be.
This is a place of true history. You can see the crests coming back again. So much information lined up everywhere. Dozens and dozens of paperworks.
Oh, there's a timeline over here.
Oh wow, it goes back to 813?
Yeah.
Whoa, and it ended up, there's no dates in here anymore.
Even Hercules is on there. Antonius, Hercules.
Wow, wow. Yeah, and there's books and everything for tourists that came here back in the 80s, 90s and 2000s to enjoy. Even old pictures of the town that's next to here. The church and the bells. I love the sitting area. You could sit here, look over the mountains. Yeah.
And I have a little peek.
Such a good view. If you turn around here, look at this one. Don't know if you can see it well on the camera, but you can see that the castle was a complete ruin, and you can see it scaffolding around there, and how they restored it back in the time. That must have been a big effort to restore a place like this. 1737 is on that display cabinet up there, and I love that picture next to it. And that feels like the original one before it got restored, because you can see sides of it are complete ruin.
Oh, there's another version of the crest.
Yeah, there you can see eagles and a crown next to it. Even a book about them.
Yeah.
Oh, the bell is beautiful. Insane. Okay, let's go to the next floor.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this one is also really interesting.
A massive fireplace.
Yo, it would have been such a nice room for them as well. Here we have the crest again.
Yeah, this
This is the leather crest, the last crest maybe even.
Yeah, could be.
You were saying before that indeed that tree and with its twisting branches is the last crest, and the one that's a bit more squared off is one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is also made out of wood. No,
Oh, yeah.
it's cast iron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's incredible. Fireplace underneath here. Insane. Documentation everywhere. Have you any idea what this kind of room would be used for?
Well,
Difficult to
maybe
say.
even master bedroom, you know? Maybe this is where the king resided.
I think the master bedroom was even higher.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
We saw it yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
We're gonna come there in a moment. Yeah. Huh. Oh, lovely room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benches everywhere around. A lot of information again.
Is this part of a weapon?
Yeah.
A rifle? Oh, yeah.
How would you use it? It would be like something like here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels more like a wooden weapon to scare off people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a musketish weapon.
Yeah. Okay. One of those speaking booths. Those places to put a book again.
Still an egg.
There's an egg. 1,000-year-old egg. Millennium egg from China. Wow.
Oh, this is a photo book?
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Picture of a church that I don't recognize.
Oh, but this is here.
Yeah. That's in the courtyard. That looks like a fairly recent photo album. Yeah. Probably of some of the people that bought it.
Yeah. It's a very short one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cute. Okay, let's go up. And we come even to a higher room in the tower. And yes, you bump your head into the chandelier again.
Of course.
This one was very low, so.
Yeah.
But this, I think, used to be the master bedroom. I mean, the bed has seen better days, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this bed. I mean.
You think it's non-original?
No. Because if you look at this back panel,
Yeah,
it's just been put on there.
it's blasted.
Yeah, and this frame.
Yeah, it does look like a very authentic, antique bed. But it's maybe a representation of how the bed used to look like when the people lived here. I mean, they definitely slept in a canopy bed, as every king did back in the time.
Of course.
Yeah. And then with a medieval chandelier hanging here. It even has small crowns on it, around the sides. And then behind here, we have a fireplace, probably made out of oak wood.
This is the other crest.
Yeah, this is the one that we saw in the courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big fireplace.
And also wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering, I've never seen like one of these fireplaces in action, but it could be safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wood is far enough, and if you're attentive of it. And a couple of cabinets, also non-original, but used to be here. Lovely. I would love to sleep here.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's an amazing place to have a rest. You can look over the town and the valley from here.
Little sleepy town.
Yeah. Hopefully they stay sleepy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last floor. And that's actually the roof.
Yeah.
What a view.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Absolutely magnificent.
See the little hillside towns everywhere.
Yeah. In Italy, most of the towns are built on top of a hill for defensive purposes. So they could look over and fight off enemies. Look, we did it again.
Another, great place for this trip.
Another documentation of history that maybe is going to get lost. And this one is, by far one of the best ones that I've seen so far. True medieval history. I want to thank you all for watching this week's video. And I want to thank you for coming with me, Luke, and also,
Of course.
for everyone that watches this video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, write a nice comment down there, and also check out the merchandise we make. The link is in the description. That's the way to support this channel and help us go on these adventures and document these places. And we see you next week in another amazing episode.